unborn. A new study just released by the CDC found that infants whose mothers were fully vaccinated with mRNA shots while pregnant were 61% less likely to be hospitalized for the virus in the first 6 months of life. The CDC data showed the protection appeared to be stronger if the vaccination occurred after the first 20 weeks of pregnancy. It's the first real-world evidence demonstrating the vaccines do generate COVID antibodies for the unborn fetus. The CDC report comes on the bank of a new Israeli study that found the Pfizer shot is completely safe for a fetus, not associated with any harmful outcomes to the newborn. In fact, the Israeli researchers who examined 17,000 cases found that preterm births were less common in vaccinated moms. Also, hospitalizations and birth defects were less common in vaccinated moms compared to unvaccinated mothers. With us now is Dr. Jonathan Stanleigh, joining us with Assuta Hospital. Doctor, thanks so much for being with me. I want to ask first, if I can, about that last point. Why do you think it is, perhaps, that the rates of birth defects, the level of preterm births, it's less among vaccinated moms than unvaccinated moms? Obviously, it's not COVID related, but it does appear that the pregnancies are healthier for vaccinated mothers overall. Why could that be?
Well, I'll just correct you. The study does show that unvaccinated mothers are more likely to be hospitalized and to have babies prematurely. But when it comes to results such as malformations and other fetal issues, it doesn't appear that the vaccine affects mothers or their babies negatively. So it's not so much a positive effect as a lack of a negative effect. There, as you know, is a lot of concern among mothers who are pregnant, whether the vaccine is safe or not. And this new Israeli study shows happily that the vaccine is extremely safe for both women who aren't pregnant as well as women who are pregnant. The vaccine doesn't endanger the baby. It doesn't cause more preterm labor. It doesn't cause congenital malformations. In the beginning of the COVID pandemic, when just as the vaccines were coming in, a lot of my patients were very concerned that perhaps the vaccine, it might protect me as a mother, as a pregnant mother, but what about my baby? Could I be endangering my baby? And so happily, we can now tell them there is hard data that the vaccine is not dangerous in any way, neither to the mother nor to the baby. About the corona virus itself, we know that women who get it while they're pregnant have a much higher rate of serious illness. So many of them get hospitalized. Many of those who get hospitalized are extremely ill. They end up having to go on a respirator or going to the intensive care unit. And sometimes we have to cause labor to occur prematurely to protect the mother because she's so sick. And that's probably why we see some of the babies born to women with corona, not vaccine, but corona, having babies more prematurely before their due date.
Doctor, in the U.S. and Israel together, there are tens of millions of unvaccinated women of childbearing age. For many, perhaps getting pregnant may make them reconsider being unvaccinated against COVID. If a woman is pregnant, is unvaccinated, but wants to get vaccinated now, is there an advantage to doing it earlier in the first trimester rather than later? Does the timeline make a difference?
Well, that's also a very good question. A lot of our patients have concerns, like I said, about congenital malformations, babies born with all of anatomical issues. They're concerned that maybe the vaccine can cause, because it's got mRNA in it, perhaps it can cause malformations. And now we can tell them that they have nothing to worry about, that the vaccine will not cause malformations. And so if in the beginning of the vaccine's availability, we spoke to women about perhaps waiting until the second or third trimester when the baby's organs are already fully formed, now we can tell them that there's no reason to delay the vaccine. If you're in your first trimester, by all means, get vaccinated. It will not hurt the baby. The one thing that might happen if you do not get vaccinated today is that between today and whenever you were planning on getting vaccinated, you might get corona and you might be seriously ill. So we recommend all women, either in their later or earlier stages of pregnancy, to get vaccinated. It's true that the vaccine seems to be passing antibodies on through the placenta into the baby's bloodstream, and in fact protecting the babies, especially during the first months of their life when they're most susceptible. It's true that the vaccine does seem to protect these babies when the mothers are vaccinated later on in pregnancy. That makes sense. We know that the vaccine works most effectively for the first 6 months. Afterwards, the antibody levels seem to drop. But not disregarding that, I still recommend that women get vaccinated as soon as possible, either before or during the first phases of pregnancy, to protect themselves from serious illness from corona during pregnancy.
Doctor, thanks so much for your time here at 924 News. Great to have you and your perspective on these new studies.
Glad to be here.
Bye.
Thank you.